Right now, there seems to be so much that's dividing us. Politics, impeachment, even talking about the weather can bring up debate about climate change. What should people be talking about when they sit down at the dinner table? Monsignor.
I think all those things are true, but I also think gathering people in, there must be something positive that we could talk about. If you want to talk about why we're gathering here, we still have a very great nation. We have a great foundation. And so as a result, maybe we should talk about where our lives are, besides what's going on around us. So where are we in this idea of Thanksgiving? What are you thankful for?
Rabbi?
So I love that. I actually want to talk about all the things you mentioned that are often divisive, because that's the only way it's going to get better. Avoidance may be a place to start, but it's not a place to end. The very things we've been told don't talk about, politics, religion, those are the things we have to talk about if we want them not to be so divisive. The real work is learning, how do we talk about them? So invite someone over, and yes, ask, but if you ask a question, be genuinely curious about the person's answer.
So a lot of talking this Thanksgiving, but also a lot of listening, is what you're saying.
I think these topics are going to come up, because you're not going to get away with a Thanksgiving without.
I mean, you can dance around it, but why? It just makes things worse.
The idea is, could we respect the person to whom we are speaking or asking questions of? And can we learn from the person without getting so emotionally involved in this, or saying or having their answer think that this is a personal attack on us? Let's
turn now to the meaning of the holiday. So the holiday is meant to be thankful to God for his blessings. Do you think that's been lost a little bit?
So
Rabbi?
I'm hesitating because I know that right now the fastest growing group of people in this country, when it talks about their spiritual identities, are the nuns.
Right.
And I don't mean the Catholic religious women.
No, right.
I mean NONES, the people who feel, they'll tell you, deeply spiritual. They don't feel connected religiously. Actually, faith in God is not going down in this country, though institutions is, which means I think people are ready to be grateful to God. If the God they're allowed to imagine being grateful to is one that comes from inside of their perception and conscience first, not from the conscience in view of the religious teacher who's asking them the question.
Monsignor, do you have something to add?
I think that is true. I think many people do believe in God. They may not be going to Mass or things like this, or whatever church or synagogue they're not going to. But I think yes, and I think they probably are grateful for where they are. And even if they're not, maybe there are some people who are just humanitarians. Well, we can be thankful for each other, and so there are many ways to approach this at that very diverse table in the same family where we all grew up together and having very different experiences.
Speaking about approach, how do families that maybe have deep divisions approach Thanksgiving? How can we use the day in order to promote healing?
I think you're sharing the same meal. You're engaging in a conversation. And it's not a matter of saying you agree with or disagree with. It's a matter of saying you are here, let's enjoy you today. Let's enjoy each other today. And I think that has a way of planting seeds of maybe ongoing conversation and ongoing acceptance.
So
Rabbi?
3 quick strategies. Number 1, not everything can be healed over turkey and stuffing.
No.
Right? We may have differences of opinion, they may be deep. We may have had arguments that hurt one another. But there are cases where people have assaulted each other in families, and worse. I'm not going to be the one to say to someone, somehow you're spiritually defective or you don't understand Thanksgiving because you won't bring your attacker to share a turkey leg with you. So I think there are limits to how much can be healed at any one moment. That's number 1. Number 2, you can bring someone to your table, but not to sit next to you. Right? I always tell you, if your table only includes people who agree with you, you need a bigger table.
Yes.
And it's okay to say that one far down at the end of the table, because I don't want to hear from them. I'm not ready to hear from them.
That's right.
But I'm also not ready to exclude them from my home. And that's an important zone. I don't want to deal with you, but you are my family, and you have a seat at this table.
Monsignor Guy Massie, pastor of Sacred Hearts St. Stephen's Church in Brooklyn, and Rabbi Brad Hirschfield, the president of the National Jewish Center for Learning and Leadership. Thank you both for being with us, and happy holidays.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
If you're watching Currents News on YouTube, be sure to hit the subscribe button and then click on the bell to get instant updates about all of our newest content, because we are putting your faith in the news.